Barbie, the doll that dreamed big. A graded reader, level B1. Introduction. Before 1959, the world of dolls was very different for young girls. Most dolls looked like small babies or young children. Society expected girls to play the role of a mother while they were still very young. They spent their time feeding, dressing, and rocking their baby dolls to sleep. However, one woman noticed that girls wanted something different. They wanted to imagine their future lives as independent adults. This is the story of how a small piece of plastic changed the toy industry forever. It is a story of fashion, business, and big dreams. Chapter 1: An Idea from Europe. Ruth Handler was one of the founders of the toy company Mattel. One afternoon, she watched her daughter, Barbara, playing in their living room. Barbara was not playing with baby dolls. Instead, she was playing with paper dolls that looked like adult women. She gave them careers, boyfriends, and busy social lives. Ruth realized there was a gap in the market for a 3D adult doll. She suggested the idea to her husband and the other directors at Mattel. At first, they did not like the idea at all. They thought that parents would not buy a doll with an adult body for their children. A few years later, the family traveled to Germany for a vacation. In a shop window, Ruth saw a doll called Build Lily. Lily was based on a comic strip character and was popular with adults. Ruth bought 3 of them and took them back to California. She was now more determined than ever to create her own version. Chapter 2: The Debut in Black and White. Ruth worked with a designer named Jack Ryan to refine the doll's look. She decided to name the doll Barbie, after her daughter. The big moment arrived on March 9, 1959. This was the American International Toy Fair in New York City. Barbie made her first appearance wearing a classic black and white striped swimsuit. She had her hair in a ponytail and wore elegant gold earrings. The toy buyers at the fair were very skeptical. They had never seen anything like her before. However, when Barbie hit the store shelves, the reaction was immediate. Girls absolutely loved her. Mattel sold 350,000 dolls in the very first year. This success proved that Ruth's intuition was correct. Barbie was not just a toy, she was a fashion icon. Chapter 3: Fashion and the Teenage Model. In the early 1960s, Barbie was marketed as a teenage fashion model. Mattel understood that clothes were the key to her success. They sold many different outfits separately so girls could change Barbie's look. Each outfit was designed with incredible detail, including tiny zippers and buttons. Barbie had a wardrobe for every occasion, from garden parties to formal dances. She represented a glamorous lifestyle that many young girls admired. Parents liked that the doll encouraged girls to be neat and stylish. Through these clothes, girls could practice their own sense of fashion. Barbie soon became a symbol of the modern American teenager. Her popularity grew so fast that Mattel had trouble keeping up with the orders. She was becoming a global phenomenon. Chapter 4: Enter Ken. As Barbie's world grew, fans began to ask for more characters. In 1961, Mattel introduced a boyfriend for Barbie. They named him Ken, after Ruth Handler's son. Ken was the perfect companion for Barbie's many adventures. He was handsome, kind, and always ready to accompany her to a party. The relationship between Barbie and Ken became a central part of her story. However, Ruth was careful to ensure that Barbie remained the star. Ken was an accessory to Barbie's life, not the other way around. Soon, other friends and family members joined the collection. Her best friend, Midge, and her little sister, Skipper, arrived a few years later. The Barbie universe was expanding, offering more ways for children to tell stories. Chapter 5: Reaching for the Stars. Barbie was never content with just being a model. In the mid-1960s, the world was changing, and Barbie changed with it. In 1965, for years before a man actually walked on the moon, Miss Astronaut Barbie was released. This was a very important moment for the brand. It showed girls that they could dream of careers that were traditionally for men. Barbie was a nurse, a stewardess, and then a pilot. She showed that women could be professional and successful in many fields. While some people criticized her for her physical appearance, others saw her as a pioneer. She encouraged girls to think about their future careers. Barbie was always one step ahead of society's expectations. By the end of the 1960s, she was the most famous doll in the world. Chapter 6: A More Diverse World. In the 1970s and 1980s, Barbie began to represent a much wider range of people in society. For a long time, Barbie's friends were diverse, but Barbie herself had always looked the same. In 1980, Mattel officially released the first black Barbie to the public. This was a major milestone for representation and diversity in the global toy industry. Soon after, Mattel introduced many other ethnicities from different countries around the world. The Dolls of the World collection showed girls' various cultures, traditions, and fashion styles. Barbie was no longer just a blonde girl from a small town in California. She became a mirror for children everywhere to see themselves and their own beauty reflected. Malibu Barbie also became an icon of the sunny and relaxed 1970s lifestyle. She had a deep tan and long blonde hair, which captured the spirit of that specific time. By expanding her world, Barbie showed that beauty belongs to everyone. Chapter 7: We Girls Can Do Anything. The 1980s was a decade of significant changes for women in the professional workplace. Mattel launched a famous advertising campaign with the slogan, "We girls can do anything." Barbie started taking on roles that were once dominated almost entirely by men. She became a doctor, a business executive, a computer engineer, and even a rock star. She showed girls that they did not have to choose between fashion and a serious career. In 1985, the Day to Night Barbie was released to demonstrate this perfect balance. She had a professional suit for the office and a sparkly pink dress for the evening. This doll was a huge success because it reflected the life of the modern working woman. Barbie was teaching a whole generation of young girls to be ambitious and confident. She proved that a woman could lead a meeting and then go out for a fun night. Her wardrobe was no longer just about parties, it was about professional success. Chapter 8: Politics and the Power of Choice. In 1992, Barbie decided to run for the highest political office in the United States. She became a candidate for President of the USA for the first time in her history. Since that year, she has run for office in almost every major election year. This was a powerful message about leadership, female power, and civic duty. However, during this time, the brand also faced some serious challenges and criticism. Some people argued that Barbie's body shape was unrealistic and set bad examples for girls. They felt that her proportions did not represent what real women actually looked like. Mattel listened to these concerns very carefully and decided it was time to change. They began to rethink what Barbie should look like in the 21st century. The world was changing quickly, and Barbie had to change with it to stay relevant. She needed to evolve to meet the expectations of a new, more conscious generation. Chapter 9: Celebrating Every Body. In 2016, Mattel made one of the biggest and most important changes in Barbie's long history. They introduced 3 new body types for the doll: curvy, tall, and petite. They also added many new skin tones, eye colors, and diverse hairstyles to the collection. This secret project was called Project Dawn, and it was hidden from the public for a long time. The goal was to make the dolls look more like the diverse people in the real world. Parents, teachers, and experts praised Mattel for making such a brave and necessary decision. It was a celebration of diversity, natural beauty, and different types of bodies. Barbie also started representing people with various physical disabilities. She was seen in a wheelchair and was even created with prosthetic limbs and hearing aids. This move made Barbie more inclusive than she had ever been in the past 60 years. Now, almost every child can find a Barbie that looks a little bit like them. Chapter 10: From the Toy Box to the Big Screen. Barbie has always been more than just a plastic doll, she is a massive cultural icon. She has appeared in many animated movies, video games, and even has her own social media accounts. In 2023, a highly anticipated live-action Barbie movie was released in theaters worldwide. The film explored complex themes of identity, humanity, and the pressure of being perfect. It became a massive global success and started many important conversations across all ages. People of all generations went to the cinema wearing pink clothes to celebrate the doll's legacy. The movie showed that Barbie could be funny, thoughtful, and deeply human at the same time. It proved that her story is still very relevant to the challenges people face today. Barbie continues to inspire new generations of children to dream big and work hard. She has moved from the toy store to the center of global culture once again. Even after many decades, she remains a symbol of imagination and endless potential. The end.